everybody. Welcome to The Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 15. My name's Tyler Wargo.
And I'm Mickey Perella.
And today we have lots to talk about as we're heading into the playoffs for NFL and NBA happened last night. We have a lot of games to cover. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Giants got crushed 30-29 facing the Bears in Chicago. Giants hope to keep Saquon Barkley and Devontae Booker for next season. They should. And, both teams are out of the playoff picture. And now, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts of this game is that it was basically a useless game. The Chicago Bears, even though they won the game and destroyed the New York Giants, who have been terrible this season, the Bears haven't really been a good team, mostly due to inconsistent quarterback play. And as for the Giants, they've just been one of the worst teams and most disappointing teams in the league this year. Kind of a nothing game so far with those teams.
Yeah, but hey, the Bears, they're better than the Giants. That's all we know.
Oh, yeah, they're way better than the Giants.
They can definitely improve other than the Giants. I feel like the Giants have to work on defense and all that stuff going forward. So they have a lot to do. Patriots had a field day in Jacksonville beating the Jaguars 10-50. Ramondre Stevenson had a total of 107 yards with a 5.6 average and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, the Patriots are really stacked heading into the playoffs. And as for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're not in the playoffs. Now, let's look at this. The Patriots had a slow start to the season, and they really improved with Mac Jones being a rookie this year. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. Mac Jones, the rookie quarterback for the Patriots, have been great this year. He's really been the best rookie quarterback out of all of them this year, which has really helped the Patriots go back to the playoff picture. It was kind of an easy win for them. Jacksonville's not really that good. They fired their coach a month ago, so it's been kind of like an up and down year for the Jaguars, mostly down for them. But I think really that they're gonna, once they hire their new coach, they're gonna be better next season. But really, the Patriots look like they're gonna be an AFC contender.
And I want to say this too: if the Patriots really go far in the playoffs, which I won't be surprised if they really do make it far in the playoffs, Mac Jones will be Rookie of the Year. He has to be. Ravens losing to 1 point yet again, 29-19, facing the Rams. What's with the Ravens losing by 1 point? I mean, the defense was on top as Chuck Clark had three tackles and 1 interception. But, I mean, think about it. The Ravens are losing to 1 point. And, we've been seeing this as they face the Steelers and as they face the Bengals. Both teams are in the playoffs, but the Ravens have been slumping lately. Now, Mickey, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts on that game is that really, Lamar Jackson's hurt. That's really simple. Like, without Lamar Jackson, the Ravens aren't going to win. So, it's really that simple. So, that's kind of
they kind of lost their. I know they have some injuries that they dealt with going with Devontae Freeman and all of them. But considering the Ravens still are that team to head into the playoffs, I have faith in them going forward. Jets kept it close but lost 28-24 against the Bucs. Buccaneers are in the playoffs, but now the Jets, they are now not shocked.
Yeah.
Highlight of the game was Antonio Brown leaving during the game. I mean, he's not on the Bucs anymore now. The main question is, what's your thoughts on that? Because my thoughts personally, Antonio Brown messed up. Apparently, he left the team because they were playing him during injury, and he did not like that. Plus, it was because of his contract. They weren't paying him as much, and it's kind of shocking. I mean, we did not expect this to happen. It happened anyway, and going forward, it really hurt the Buccaneers heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, first off, we'll talk about the Jets real quickly. They actually played very well, and it was actually a very close game until the very end where the Buccaneers pulled out the end. So shout out to the Jets for actually making this a game against one of the best teams in the NFC. And then also, with the Buccaneers and Antonio Brown, really, a lot of stuff has been coming out. We don't really know what to believe right now. Kind of the Bucs say that Antonio Brown kind of went on his own, and Antonio Brown sort of was like, they disrespected me. I don't like how they handled it. So it's really a lot to really figure out right now. I guess we'll figure that out in the months to come. But honestly, at the end of the day, what this means to the Buccaneers is that Antonio Brown, one of their better receivers on their team, won't be with them for the playoff run, which will be huge for them.
I mean, think about it. AB. I mean, from his perspective, he thinks it's because they played him during injury.
Yeah.
But now everyone else, like the media, is saying that it's because they weren't paying him enough contract. So we'll definitely find this out as the playoffs develop.
Yep.
And obviously, I think the Buccaneers still will do well in the playoffs, considering they have Bernard and they have Gronkowski and Brady. So
and
Brady,
even Mike Evans. They just got to get Godwin back for the playoffs, and I think they should be okay.
And their defense is really good. It's not like their defense is bad as well. So I don't think it's going to really hurt the Buccaneers. But yeah, it's definitely going to hurt the wide receiver position.
Yep.
Bills handled the Falcons 29-15. Josh Allen had 3 interceptions with no touchdowns. I found that shocking considering the Bills destroyed the Falcons. Josh Allen had 3 interceptions. I mean, we saw mostly a lot from the rushers and the wide receivers than Josh Allen himself. And yeah, the rushers carried the game, and now the Falcons are out, but the Bills are in the upcoming 2022 playoffs. Now, Mickey, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts on that is that the three interceptions indicate that the Falcons didn't really take advantage of the mistakes that Josh Allen made, which was really the biggest problem for the Falcons. They haven't been a great team. They've been overachieving a little bit. They've won 7 games, which is interesting for them, a team that no one really thought about them really as a winner yet. So it's really good for them to see them actually overperform in some instances. As for the Bills, they look like an AFC contender.
I think we're going to be seeing the Patriots facing the Bills in the playoffs, and I honestly have a lot of hope for the Bills beating the Patriots. So now, we now take you over to Cincinnati as the Bengals are hot beating the Chiefs 31-34. Joe Burrow, this guy's insane. This guy's also a rookie for the Bengals. 4 touchdowns with 446 yards. That's insane.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase was also really good, considering that you have a good quarterback, good receivers. I don't think anything's going to stop the Bengals, especially after beating the Chiefs. Jamar Chase had 266 yards with a 24.2 average with 3 touchdowns. Now, both teams are in the playoff hunt. Do you think that they're going to face off each other in the future? In the playoffs?
I'm not really sure. Maybe. I mean, maybe could both teams make the AFC Championship? I mean, maybe. I think it's possible. But I really like the Bengals this year. I really think that the chemistry between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to be really, really strong because of their connection in LSU, the drafting together. They're really playing well. It was a great pick by the Bengals 2 years in a row. Not a lot of people liked it. They should have said offensive tackle, but Chase has been that good, and he might be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now.
I agree. I mean, think about it. The Chiefs are not as good as they were last year defensively. Offensively, I would say they're still good as they were last year, but defensively, they have fallen off a little bit. But yeah, I definitely feel like the Bengals are actually overtopping the Chiefs right now. Titans are heading into the playoffs after eliminating the Dolphins from contention, 34-3.
The number 1 seed.
Yeah, Titans. Wow, Derrick Henry, he's on fire. Raiders pulled a great win in Indianapolis, 23-20 against the Colts. Daniel Carlson had made 3 out of 3 field goals with 11 points. Both teams are now heading into the playoffs, and now, how far are the Raiders actually going to make it in the playoffs considering their rough season that they've had?
Maybe. There's a chance. If they beat the Chargers, they're in. If they don't beat the Chargers, they're out. We'll find out this week.
The Chargers aren't even that good. I'm not going to lie. The Rams are that better LA team, but I don't think the Chargers... I think the Raiders are actually going to beat the Chargers, but then after that, the Raiders are going to get out.
Yeah, definitely.
And after the show, we're going to give a prediction on who we're going to think in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Because,
Super Bowl picks.
Yep. So, yeah, but think about it. The Raiders have Hunter Renfrow still. They have Derek Carr. They have Josh Jacobs, and that's really about it. But those guys are like one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah, and Darren Waller as well.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, Raiders, they still have hopes, but considering that you lost your coach and lost Henry Ruggs, I mean, that's just upsetting. Eagles defeated the Washington football team 20-16. Eagles' record is 9-7, while Washington's record is 6-10. Eagles are heading to the playoffs. As for Washington, they are not. Now, Washington, yes, they aren't making the playoffs, but they had a really good season. I mean, considering that their defense was on point, it was just Taylor Heineke that couldn't get the points on the board facing the Eagles. Think about it. Their division that the Washington football team was in, besides the Giants, was actually pretty good. So, I mean, it's been really hard for the Washington football team towards the end of the season. And now the question is, can the Eagles pick up the wins in the playoffs?
I don't think so.
Really?
I kind of just think that the Eagles are a very good team, but I don't think that they're going to beat one of the top NFC teams. I mean, there's 5 teams already better than them. I mean, maybe they're on the same level as San Francisco, but they're not as good as Arizona or Dallas or the Rams or the Buccaneers or the Packers. So I don't think they're going to be winning a game. They're going to be a lower seed facing one of the higher seeds.
Their division is really stacked, so...
And I guess for Washington, I guess they're going to look forward to next year getting their name.
I think next year it will be Washington's year. I think so.
Well, they're going to finally have a name. They're no longer be the football team anymore. They're going to have a name.
Yeah, you know what?
It's going to be crazy.
I heard one name.
2 seasons.
I heard one name. People are going to say the Washington Presidents, which is actually not.
I've heard the Admirals. Well, we'll see.
Admirals.
I said we'll see.
We'll see.
They'll come out this offseason.
But yeah, it's funny because a lot of Eagles fans think the Eagles are going to destroy Dallas this weekend, and I don't think so. I mean, Dallas, considering how much they improved over time, I mean, there's nothing stopping those guys. I think that Dallas is going to be on top coming facing the Eagles. Chargers are heading into the playoffs after eliminating the Denver Broncos from the playoff picture, 13-34. Broncos, I'm sorry, you guys gave up a lot of players, injuries, defensively, and losing players left and right. I don't think it's even going to be their year next year, considering that they're constantly losing players.
Yeah.
Now, the 49ers are in the hunt after eliminating the Texans from the playoffs 7-23. Lions took a huge L facing the Seahawks 29-51, and both teams are not being in the playoffs as expected. And now, let's look at it. Good game in Dallas as the Cardinals won 25-22. Man of the game was Antoine Wesley with 30 yards, 7.5 average, and 2 touchdowns. Both teams will be contending in the playoffs, but Dallas, this is its first time in the playoffs since 2016. What's your thoughts?
I think that Dallas is really like, a decent team. Like, I really think that they're a good team.
Considering that they have CeeDee Lamb, they have
Amari
Cooper, and Dak Prescott. Obviously, Dak Prescott much improved over the offseason, and he's ready to play. I definitely think Dallas is going to go far in the playoffs, considering that their division is stacked. I really think they're going to handle it well. They're going to beat the Eagles. I don't think they're going to... I don't know if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I definitely think they're going to be going for the NFC Championship, though.
I think it's a good bet.
Saints picked up a good win facing the Panthers, 10-18. Saints defense is one of the top defenses in the NFC, no question. I'm a Saints fan. I'm going to be a little selfish here with the Saints. But they have a really good defense. Like, yes, we lost a lot of players offensively, but defensively with Cam Jordan and Marshall Lattimore, nothing's stopping those guys.
Yeah.
Saints are fighting for the playoffs while the Panthers are completely out. So we need the 49ers to lose. 49ers to lose, and we need to beat the Falcons in order to actually make it to the playoffs. And now, considering the upsets that we had after losing Breeze, after losing Taysom Hill's back, but after losing our players, I will be very shocked if we make the playoffs, and I will be proud of the Saints even committing to do that well to make it to the playoffs.
Right.
Now, what's your thoughts?
I kind of think that the Saints next year just need to get a quarterback,
Yeah, I like Taysom Hill, but see, Taysom Hill was a tight end.
Yeah.
He used to play tight end position. I think, like I said episodes back, he was always good on the tight end. He was never good as a quarterback, but yes, you're right. We definitely need a quarterback. Jameis Winston, when he's in the lineup, he's just as good, but he's not as good. So defensively, we don't need to change anything, just offensively. Packers shut down the Vikings 10-37. Aaron Rodgers and A.J. Dillon. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and A.J. Dillon. They're working really well considering that they don't have Aaron Jones right now in the lineup. They're doing so well. They combined had 4 touchdowns with 320 yards. Packers, they're going far. I really think it's going to be Packers-Cowboys in the NFC division. I really think so. And, Packers are in the playoffs and are confident heading into the playoffs. But the Vikings, they're eliminated from playoff contention. Playoffs, obviously, mid-season, the Vikings did have a shine, but they kind of lost it start and end of the season. Now, what can the Vikings improve on heading into next season?
I think that the Vikings need a coach. That's what they need.
Yeah.
They need a new coach. Mike Zimmer has had a very good run there, but I think his run is kind of over. It's run its course. So I think that he needs to move on, and the Vikings got to get a new coach. They got a decent roster. They got Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. They got Kirk Cousins. They have
really good offense. So
and also add more defense. You guys need a better defense. And you guys get choke games.
Yeah.
That's all. Like a coach and a better defense.
I agree.
I think that's all you need.
I agree. Steelers dominated the Browns in Pittsburgh 14-26. Ben Roethlisberger had 123 yards, 1 touchdown, and gave up 1 interception. Browns are not going into the playoffs, but the Steelers are. Now, as you know, Ben Roethlisberger, this is his last season, and I'm not shocked considering that he had an injury last season, and he came back this season. And think about it. This season, Ben Roethlisberger did not play that well.
Yeah.
He was slumping. Obviously, he was injured, and I don't blame that for him being that bad, but I definitely think that it's going to be a good run for Ben Roethlisberger heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, what's your thoughts?
Well, I just want to talk about Big Ben for a sec because Big Ben is going to retire at the end of this year. And really, Big Ben is going to be the last of the 2004 quarterbacks with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers and Big Ben. Those are the 3 of that draft class. Rivers retired last year. Eli Manning retired 2 years before that. Now it's Big Ben's turn to hit the end of his career.
We're seeing a lot of these quarterbacks retire.
We saw Eli retire. We saw Phillip Rivers retire. We saw Drew Brees retire. Who knows how long Tom Brady's going to be able to play? Probably very soon, maybe 3-4 years left. I don't know. Who knows? We keep saying he's going to retire, but maybe not.
Also, I know this quarterback is irrelevant to those quarterbacks, but we could possibly see Russell Wilson leaving the Seahawks too, considering how bad the Seahawks were this year. So honestly, a lot of these rookies are stepping up to the plate, and a lot of these veterans are retiring. So, and am I shocked? I'm not shocked because they have played 15 years almost.
Yeah,
like a
long time. But as for Big Ben, he will have his rightful place in the Hall of Fame soon enough.
Oh yeah.
So he had a great career in Pittsburgh. He won 2 Super Bowls.
A couple seasons back, the Steelers were that team. Back when they had Antonio Brown,
Le'Veon Bell.
Really yep. They were that team.
But even before that, they had really good teams with Hines Ward in the 2000s when he was a younger guy, when he was winning Super Bowls. He's had a great career, honestly.
Pittsburgh has a lot of history. And now we take you over to NBA Thursday night action as the Knicks knock the Celtics 105-108. Celtics record is 18-21. I feel like the Celtics can improve on that record. The Knicks record is 19-20. Man of the game was Evan Fournier, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 41 points. I mean, this guy is tall. And the Celtics gave out towards the second half. Obviously, the Celtics were winning in the first half, and in the second half, they only were scoring 20 points. Now, what's your thoughts on that game? I know you're a Knicks fan.
Well, after the Knicks game, we got to talk about some things. First off, how they won. R.J. Barrett coming through with a game-winning 3-pointer at the buzzer. That was crazy. Number 2, Evan Fournier had the best game of his entire career. He's been in the league 10 years with Orlando, good years in Orlando. He had some good years.
He's doing the best he actually ever played with on the Knicks.
Yeah, but also, he had 41 points. He had 10 3-pointers. He was insane, shot the ball great. He had a fantastic game. But as for the Celtics, even though Jason Tatum had a good game, the Celtics have been disappointing because Tatum...
Injuries. No, it's injuries. It's injuries. We lost Al Horford. Al Horford is one of our best centers, and then obviously Marcus Smart and all of them, they're just not doing that good. I mean, they're just not making their shots. But yeah, Jason Tatum right now is definitely carrying the Celtics right now, no doubt. Pelicans conquered the Warriors 101-96. Grizzlies destroyed the Pistons 118-88. And now, what's your thoughts on the Grizzlies Pistons? I definitely think the Grizzlies are really.
The Grizzlies are actually an up and coming team.
It's funny because they were not that good seasons back.
Yeah, I mean, because they were kind of in a transition period. They actually used to be good. They had some good players, and Mike Conley and Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. But that era is now gone, and they went through a little rough patch. Now they got some young talent. They got Ja Morant, who looks like he's Derrick Rose in his prime.
I don't know if you saw that game, but when they faced the Lakers, Ja Morant was actually one of the key guys to look at. Defensively, offensively, he is really making the game different.
But even without Ja Morant, I mean, they have young players around him too. Jaren Jackson Jr., a tall center who's talented. You got Desmond Bane, a nice shooter who's actually has some talent. Dylan Brooks is another good shooter with some talent. They got other guys too, like Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, Killian Tilly. They got a lot of good young players, and the Grizzlies very soon could be a contender.
I would not be surprised if they made it into the NBA Finals. I mean, really, the Grizzlies improved over the seasons. And now, lastly, we have the Suns winning in Phoenix, 89-106 against the Clippers. Man of the game was Cameron Johnson with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist. Now, let's talk about it. The Suns have one of the best chemistries in the league. I mean, going with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Cameron Johnson, they work really well on the court offensively. Now, Mickey, what's your thoughts on the Phoenix game?
Yeah, I think the Suns have been absolutely phenomenal this year. They have absolutely great chemistry, like you said, and they got a lot of good players. They got 2 stars in Chris Paul.
They got 2 rookies. They got 2 rookies too.
Yeah, and Devin Booker.
Yep.
Yeah,
Devin Booker's a veteran for the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, very good talent, but they even have more. They have DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder. Remember Jay Crowder on the Celtics?
Yeah.
He's filling the same role for the Phoenix Suns.
Jay Crowder's been on a lot of
Cameron Johnson, as we mentioned. Jalen Smith is a good player. Bismack Biyombo, Cameron Payne. They have great talent all over the place. They look like a team that's an NBA contender, like final contender, with Brooklyn and with Golden State. They look like a contender.
Golden State actually kind of fell off a little bit. Yes, they're good, but they kind of fell off a little bit. They lost against the Pelicans.
Yeah, but if Klay Thompson comes back and does
well, they don't have Klay Thompson and they don't have Draymond Green. So once they get those 2 players back, we'll definitely be seeing the Warriors and Suns in the playoffs again. Yeah. And now it's definitely getting interesting as NBA progresses over the time. And we'll come back with you guys next week with the Sports Grind. Mickey will not be here next time, but he will be back. And hopefully soon we will be at the studio. And yeah, so without further ado, thank you guys for tuning in to Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 15. And yeah, bye.